Hey everyone, welcome to Roleplay Record, a place where we talk about role-playing games, RPGs. Well, not today, but mostly we do. Today we're talking about Marathon. Why am I talking about this game? This isn't exactly the theme of my channel. I wanted to discuss this game because while I love RPGs, and again that's the focus of my channel, I've been known to play things like Halo and Destiny. Specifically Destiny 1 when it came out, I was super excited for that game. Weren't we all super excited about that game? And didn't we all just kind of were disappointed by it, but then it got better and we just couldn't stop playing it? I digress. Halo also, probably my most played game franchise among all of the games. And I mean all of them, even Halo Wars 1 and 2, everything. I've played them all, and I love them all. Beat them all in Legendary. Spent a lot of time on the single player and the multiplayer in those games. So why do I bring up Destiny and Halo? Well, they're all made by the same studio that Marathon's made by, Bungie. So of course I'm going to check this game out. Sure, the studio hooked me, but also that sci-fi style, which I love that sci-fi style. I think the game looks really cool, and I wanted to jump in because of how cool it looked. I mean, just visuals alone can hook somebody into a game. But does that keep me in the game? Let's talk about it. So if you end up liking this video, check out my others and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into the video with the overview of the game like we normally do. So the overview is like this. Marathon is a first-person shooter developed by Bungie for Mac computers in 1994. The game follows a security officer aboard a colony ship named the UESC Marathon in the Tau Ceti system while he defends Marathon from alien forces. Huh? Wait. No. Check notes. No, that's the wrong one. I got it now. Marathon is a first-person PvPvE online multiplayer extraction shooter made by Bungie in 2026. You play as a bio-cybernetic runner scavenging the lost colony of Tau Ceti 4 while fighting other cybernetic runners who are also scavenging the lost colony of Tau Ceti 4. Okay, now I got it. That's the right one. So we're going to talk about both Marathons here. Because I think it could tie together very nicely. So let's start with the first one, the 1994 Marathon. So when you play the 1994 Marathon, the hook is simple, and the world right when you land in it is pretty digestible. There's sci-fi, there's aliens. The aliens are evil and bad, kill them. Outer space, spaceship, your soldier guy. We know all that. We can relate our knowledge of other media to it, and all the uniqueness that the game brings to the player is the setting that is told to you through a story. Now, what made 1994 Marathon special was that story. Now, 1993 gave us Doom, 1 year before Marathon. That game doesn't have a story. Okay, that what hooks you in that is the shooting, right? The shooting, the enemies, the level design, backtracking, finding the keys. Marathon has all that, right? But what is unique about it and what hooks the player, to not just go back and play Doom, but to keep playing this game, was the story. The story is not told in the traditional modern sense that you would think of, like, single player first person shooter, go through the shooting gallery, watch a cutscene, rinse and repeat. No. It was told through terminals. So you would walk around the map, you would find a terminal, you would read that terminal, and the terminal would basically be like a message between two people, like an email, essentially. And, there would be repeat characters, you would read about it, and you would want to go find the next terminal. Because you're like, whoa, what happened here? Whoa, I see what happened here in the environment. I need to go check that out. I need to keep going. Oh, this guy, this faction, this alien. That's what hooked. Hook is going to be the key word of this video. What hooks a player into a game, right? So what hooks a player into a game is obviously gameplay, story, the loop of the gameplay. I think 1994 Marathon had all of that. Good controls, even, especially for 1994. I think it was maybe better controlled than Doom 1. Maybe that's a hot take, let me know. But it controls very well. By the way, 1994 Marathon and the second game, and Marathon Infinity, I believe that's the third game, they're all free on Steam. So there's really no reason for you not to check those out if you're a fan of this marathon, this new one. In 2026 marathon, you also have something unique here. You also have a unique way of telling a story. Like in 1994, with the story itself being unique because of how it was told and the fact that it even existed, 2026 does present you with that unique way of storytelling as well. So let's get into that. So you are presented in 2026 with this cool, colorful sci-fi setting. That was enough to get me interested in the game. When I entered the game, I'm this like bio-cybernetic runner. I have these different shells. I don't even know what that is. I have no frame of reference for any of that. Unlike in the first game, you know, soldier, aliens, ship, right? I don't need that frame of reference right away. I just need to know that I'm going to be told what that is. You know, why are these factions hiring me to scavenge this lost colony? Why would I even work for them? Is the game going to give me a chance to figure this all out? The answer is yes. The game does give me and you and everyone a chance to figure this all out, right? So the game hooks me with its visual style. And is it going to keep me in with these questions I just asked? What character am I? What are these factions? What is this world? Yes, like I said, it does allow me to figure all that out to keep me hooked. But can I get to there? Can I even find all of that? Or can I explore all of that? Am I even going to want to? Is it going to hook me just like that? You know, am I just going to skip past all the dialogue? Am I not even going to look at the items? Again, let's talk about all that, right? So how you figure out all this stuff, like why are you a bio-cybernetic runner? You know, why are you on this colony? Why do you work for these factions? You figure that all out through faction quests, right? You'll pick up a contract from a faction, you go down to the planet, you get what that faction wants, and you, get this, extract it out. It's an extraction shooter, just like it says in the overview. So you extract the item out, faction is happy, you get rewarded. And part of the reward is not only just items like new guns and attachments, it is also lore. They will talk to you. They will tell you things about your character, about the world, about the other factions. That's the unique thing, right? You're not just going through a shooting gallery, watching a cutscene, doing it. This is a unique way. It's almost Elden Ring-like, where it's not told in a traditional sense. You have to explore the world, you have to read the items, you have to listen to the little bit of dialogue that you will find and piece it all together, while also looking at the environment and saying like, whoa, that character mentioned something about the environment. Now I see that. I see that dead dragon or, you know, whatever there was in that game. The catch. Why do I work for all these factions? This isn't a lore video. Let's not get into the weeds here. But if you don't know, essentially, you're a mercenary and you have to transfer yourself into a cybernetic runner suit. Like you transfer your consciousness to the cybernetic runner suit to survive the harsh conditions of the planet. The catch is every time you die, there's a high cost associated with it because the suits are so expensive. So essentially you're consistently in debt to these factions and you have to keep working for them because of the debt. That's my understanding. But you have to get to the point that you're told that, right? And you have to actually care when you get to that point, okay? You're a corporate controlled tool, essentially, right? They benefit from having you and you're indebted to them, so you have to work for them. So back to all the point I was making, the only way you discover all of this is by completing the quests, extracting the loot, doing it all over again, right? So what are the drawbacks to this way of storytelling? This, you know, objective-based, progression-based storytelling, spoon-feeding me bit by bit of lore. The biggest drawback that I see is the forced PvP of this game. Now hold on, I'm not against PvP. I spent many hours playing Halo and Destiny PvP and other as well, right? I'm not against PvP in games at all. What's different about the games like Halo and Destiny is there was a single player where I could unlock all the world and learn everything I could about it. You know, I could take my time. I could look up at the sky. I could look at the buildings. I could look at the weather. I could look at my soldiers. I could look at my weapon. I could just stare at it. Whatever I wanted to do, I could take my time and soak in at my own pace. In Halo CE, one mission I think about is 343 Guilty Spark and the atmosphere that provides me. You know, it's dark and gloomy and rainy, your ship is crashed, you can see it. You walk into the building, there's blood everywhere. What the heck happened? You know, dead bodies, what? And I'm going slow and I'm trying to figure it all out. You know, when I played Destiny 1 for the first time, I could go into the zones and just run around and look at stuff. You know, go into this building, go into that cave, go look at that enemy over there even if I wanted to. It was all at my own pace. I could ground myself into this world to make me love it more. With Marathon, I feel like I have no time to look at anything. These environments are cool. You know, there is things happening in the sky. There are things happening on the ground. On the side of the buildings, there's marks. There's things, you know, your weapons have different marks. You want to look at these, you know, you want to look at the items more to, again, get more into the world. But I have no time to look at anything. There could be another player around the corner waiting to shoot me. So I'm not going to look at any of that stuff. I'm not going to care to look, because the main goal is for me not to die from another player, right? Not only a PvE mob, another player. So when I talk about these other games like Halo and Destiny, I didn't feel FOMO when I loaded up a multiplayer, you know, FOMO in terms of the story, because I already got the story. In Halo, I knew what a Spartan was. I knew what the location was on the map, right? On the multiplayer map. Heck, let's even use Halo Reach as an example. The campaign made armor customization even cooler. I unlocked the same armor as Noble Team. How cool is that? You know, I want to play more and more just to get those armor pieces. Maybe I'll even spend some money on a microtransaction. You know, where is that in Marathon? You know, if there was a single player or a way for me to ground myself more in the world, I'd want to spend more time in it. I'd want to go to the multiplayer, this PvPvE thing, right? I'd want to spend more time in it. I'd even maybe want to spend money in it because, like, wow, that story character had cool armor and now it's in the item shop. I'm not for microtransactions in games, but come on, it's right there. It's right there. Another example I can use from Halo was when playable elites came to Halo. That was a huge moment, but it was only a huge moment because we knew what an elite was from the single player. Like, whoa, it's an enemy character, and now I can be that enemy character, and I could team up with that enemy character in like an arena. Come on, that's what made it special. Not just, there's this random ugly looking alien in the item shop and I could be him. No, I don't want to be that ugly alien. The Spartan is cool. But the elite is only cool because of the single player, because I was able to explore that. The other thing I can add is this game is obviously meant to be multiplayer, right? You got to be with your friends. Yes, there's a solo, but it's for your friends. It's for 2 other friends and you. You'll be chatting it up with them in the call, right? In a party call. You'll get your lore bit from a faction. Like you'll finish, you'll turn in your quest, and you'll get your little lore bit, which is actually a voiced little scene that you can get. But if your friends are chatting and you're chatting with them, you're gonna miss that. You're gonna miss that dialogue. What are you gonna do? You're gonna tell your friends, guys, shut up. I got something. They're not gonna have the same thing I have. You know, so they're just gonna sit there being quiet while I listen to my thing, and then when they have something, you know, I'm gonna just sit there and be quiet. What's the point of playing together then? There is a library, I believe. There is a library where you can go back and look at all that stuff, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I want to hear it right there, right? I don't want to go to the other tab and dig for it. I want it right there. But again, it's being taken away. It's going against the social nature of the game because I have to tell my friends to be quiet. When you're running around the map, you also don't want to tell your friends, hey guys, I want to look at this crate, I want to look at this building, I want to look up at the sky. No, they don't, you know, they don't want to do that. Or, hey, I got this cool item. Wait a second, guys. Let me look at it. Let me read it. No, they don't want to do that either. right? There's another player over the hill. We got to go get him. Like, it's fighting against itself. So to conclude, it feels like Bungie wanted to do something similar to Halo with a single-player campaign, or even go all the way back to 1994 and do a story like the original Marathon, because it really does feel like there are people at Bungie that actually really care about telling a good story here, you know, building these environments, building these factions, doing voice lines for these factions, designing the weapons for the doing everything that you would want for a story. But why do I want to buy into that story? I'm not wanting to hook myself into the story. Therefore, is the gameplay enough for me to be hooked to stay in the game? That's the question. We talk about player retention. It's always about player retention. Let's look at the Steam charts. Could you imagine if there was at least a single player mode or a way for me to immerse myself in the story even more, how the retention would be of this game? The player retention would be higher because I'd want to spend more time in this world. I'd want to explore it more, you know, be in it more, even if the other mode is PvP and then there's another mode that's single player. I would play both of them, and I would play the game for longer, and I'd want to unlock more armor. I'd want to unlock the faction quests that I think are cool from the story, right? I'd want to look at the environments more. It would make me want to stay in the game more. But it just seemed like Bungie needed to capitalize on the live service thing. Maybe they were told to do that, maybe not. Either way, they did it. And they felt like they also needed to capitalize on the extraction shooter fad. It is a fad, just like Battle Royale. It will go away eventually. I think Marathon is a really good game. Like, you can have a lot of fun with it. And I do want to unlock more of the story. I do just want to keep going with it. I will keep telling my friends to be quiet while I have a dialogue. I will tell my friends to, hey, wait a minute, let me read this, even if it goes against the nature of the game. But I wish it was just different. I wish there was just something that, like a single player mode, that could help me be hooked into this world more. So let me know what you think of all this down below. I'm sure my take here is different. I mean, from what I read online, I think it's different. Or maybe you agree with me. Let me know either or. I want to read all the comments. I like reading the comments when I get them, which I don't get many, but I would like to get your comment if you have any. Thanks for watching so much, and talk to you later.